Welcome to the Real People, Real Business Show, where we are talking with business owners who are in the trenches, everyday people who are working hard and have relevant and inspiring stories that you can relate to. Everyone we speak to is actively building and growing their business and is here to share their experiences, their lessons, their wisdom, their guidance, so that you can be inspired to take action towards your own goals. Our guest today is no exception. She has been through the trenches and she has some great stories to share. So without further ado, I am so excited to welcome Lindsay Peroff Schulz. Lindsay has a business called Pure Gift Boxes, and she's actually local here. She's just down the street for me, which is super cool. And I've met her a number of times through some of the markets, and we've just gotten to know each other. And she has an amazing little business. She's been in business for 1.5 years and is currently growing and introducing some new offers into her business. So welcome, Lindsay. Thanks so much for taking the time to share your story today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to speak with you.
Yeah, well, I know a few things about your business, but I would love to dig a little bit deeper and really get to know kind of your story and your journey. And I know everybody here would like to hear it too. So let's dive in and hear how you got started. What was the trigger for you to start your business?
Well, first of all, if you said I've been in the trenches, I still feel like I'm in the trenches every single day. There's no doubt about that. But how I got started, I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years. And that was after leaving corporate jobs, including doing public relations for an international franchise. It meant commuting though, and with little ones, didn't want to do that with my new little ones. So I literally, good on Google, literally was Googling best stay-at-home mom jobs. My husband has a very busy engineering job, and I knew I was going to have to work around him. Every time I get a call of my kids being sick, you know who's going to have to go pick them up. I've had to do that once every single week so far since school started. So I knew I had to do that. So I Googled best stay-at-home jobs for moms. And gift baskets kept coming up, including on the Forbes list. And I'm like, well, if Forbes is listing it, I should check into this. But when I was researching, it just wasn't me. Just not the plastic. I come from a community, as you know, that's very eco-friendly and about sustainability. And I didn't like the plastics, the big bows, just because it didn't represent me. It's very popular, but it didn't represent, I could only run a business if I felt I could be right behind it. So I did a little more research and I found the idea of reusable gift boxes and not using the plastic or the one-day ribbon, as we call it, and stuff like that. So I thought I could do this. And then I had more motivation. My mom had actually passed away that year, and she was a big gifter. So I think she was on my mind. She always was gifting to everybody, and she inspired that into me also. And my husband said, fine, but I want to see a business plan. And so I never finished the business plan, by the way, not to 100%, but I came up with enough information and research that he supported me to go forth. And so boom, I dove right in. And that was 1.5 years ago.
And you've learned a lot over the last couple of years, or the last 1.5 years for sure. Mm-hmm. But what's really interesting to me is that what really drove you, and I speak a lot about being in alignment with your business, but what really drove you were these two things around this determination to create a business that you could run as a stay-at-home mom, which, as we know, is not that easy, but also your take on it from a sustainability, environmental perspective as well. So give me a little bit of background. How has this worked out for you being a stay-at-home mom? Do you still consider yourself a stay-at-home mom? Or is this some new hybrid that we should be looking towards?
I'm a stay-at-home mom, but it's really just about working around your family's schedule, because my kids are both at school now. And so I still work right around them. They leave just before 9, they're home at 3. So it's not a 9 to 5 job. I work the hours that I want to work. And I think a lot of people are leading towards that for a lifestyle. So for me, that's what it is. They come home at 3, but between 3 and 5, I may be answering some calls and that, but I'm bringing them to activities. I'm making dinner. And then I hop on my computer and start curating gifts again in the evening after they go to bed. But I'm thankful that I love what I do. So I am able to do that. But I also primarily love the idea that being your own boss, being my own boss. Nobody can tell me, other than maybe my husband, but when I can go on vacation with my family, when I can take days off, I get to decide that. And it's the greatest feeling ever, that it's not, it takes off a huge stress of a big part of our life. If I have my child homesick, it's okay. I run and go pick them up. I come home, I can keep working. And I know in the community that we live in, because we're considered, as you know, Stephanie, pretty much a bedroom community still. You have Vancouver, you've got Whistler, and I think they still say it's something like, not half, but 30% are going to Vancouver, which is an hour away. 30% are going to Whistler. We'll say it's about an hour away. So we're a bedroom community. So if you want to stay at home and not have to do that commute every single day, I mean, I live in a small town for a reason. I love small towns, community, living in the mountains. It wasn't to commute to the city every day and have to be in the hustle and bustle of the city. So you've got to find something that you can do out of your home. And I know in this community, that's huge. Like, a lot of people are working out of their home because it's a lifestyle. It really is.
I think that's totally true. I used to work within the startup community here, and we were trying to generate more support for startups and entrepreneurs. And we actually have like this really interesting brain trust here, because it's this little town with a whole bunch of people who moved here for the lifestyle. And so there's a lot of motivation I've done the commute as well. You leave at 6 a.m. and you come home at 6 p.m, right? And we have all these external and internal pressures because there isn't enough daycare for kids. Daycares don't open until 8 because everyone else has the same lifestyle. So it makes it really, really hard in this community. And I'm willing to bet that that's not unusual for a lot of small towns that are remote.
Definitely.
And so you've figured out, along with others here, how to make that work for you. But I think one of the interesting things you said too is that this isn't just about freedom. I think a lot of people kind of say, I want my freedom, but what they really want is choice, right?
Yes.
They want
exactly.
choice and autonomy.
Exactly. Choice of what I'm going to do with my life, with my family, and just my personal activity, what I would like to do. If it's a sunny day, I really want to, on my lunch hour, sneak in a mountain bike ride.
Yeah.
And it's making choices for sure. And you making your own choices, not presenting it to somebody else saying, these are my choices, which can I do out of my choices? It's you really having control. And I'll be the first to admit, I'm completely type A. That's why I haven't handed over any curation of my gift boxes to anyone else. People keep saying, you're going to have to hire someone this holiday season. I'm type A. I need to do that part myself still. I really do. Might be able to hand over some other things, but what I'm passionate about and what I'm really particular about, I just can't hand over.
Right. Right. Well, you know what? We're all very personal, right? We're all very individual, and our needs and desires for how we run our businesses are all going to be a little bit different. I find that there are like areas in our businesses where we will hand things over and areas where we just won't. And if you're clear on that and you're able to sort of follow those pathways, you build a business that's more in the flow and more in alignment with who you are, right?
And being a small business, I've tried to learn so much myself this year, which has taken up a lot of time. And a lot of that has to do with finances. I know when they say, oh, hire someone. But if you don't have the finances to do it, you can't do it, because you could say yes to everything. I get contacted as a small business every single day from many different people for one reason or another, whether it's doing my social media, whether it's working on my website. And so you have to pick and choose when you're a small business. Okay, what can I hand over and I'm willing to pay for? And what can I learn on my own? And some of the things were my website, I handed over tiny tweaking that I couldn't do, but I actually learned to do a little coding this year, which was pretty crazy. And so I'm okay handling my own website. what I've learned over this last month, I won a scholarship from Squamish Mothers in Business, which I was totally excited about. And it was to put towards search engine optimization for my website. And along that process, what I learned was AdWords, Google AdWords, that I've decided to jump into. Thought I could do it on my own. Today, I got another email from VentureWeb, who I love them over at VentureWeb here in town. I'm pulling out my hair now. And so is it worth it? No, because it's just causing me stress. It gets me super grumpy and taking in time away from what I should be focusing on, such as sales and getting my holiday corporate pitches out there, to maybe something I'm never going to figure out on my own, versus other things such as shipping, website, I knew I could figure out on my own.
I'm a huge fan of business owners, and I think we all go through this phase in our business where we're still kind of in infancy, but we're growing up, and I like the idea of business owners being able to learn a lot about how their business works. But just like you mentioned, you've got to get to that point where it's time to cut off, the struggle, right? And find someone who can do something cheaper or faster or with less headache. And in the corporate world, we talk about core competencies, right? Core capabilities. What is really core to you being able to get to making money as quickly as possible? But there's still value in investing in learning all these little things, because then you know more about what you can hand over. You've just got to be smart about when you do and not being afraid to make that investment.
What was my biggest thing was really knowing my numbers. I am a numbers person. I like numbers. Won some math awards when I was in high school. And my husband, being an engineer, he's always sitting down with me, so patient with me. I love it. And he makes me all these charts, such as bi-monthly gift box sales. And it's great because with that, I can go back and analyze. And I love knowing my numbers, because then I feel like I know my business. And again, it's being in control and knowing, versus I've talked to too many small business owners and they really don't know what their true net profits are. And you'll ask them and they'll say, oh, well, I made this much. Such as an example would be, I go to a few markets. And they're like, well, if you sell that much, you've made your money back. But you haven't, because you have to take away your overhead, the type of products, the cost of the products, every little thing like that, the entry fee into the market, or if you're going to a trade show. And so you have to calculate net profits. And it amazes me that they're not working that way. And again, it's just personal, but I know to get ahead and be profitable and make this a success, to make it a livelihood for myself, I need to know my numbers. I really do.
Oh, you're after my heart, Lindsay. I love you.
Love.
One of the modules that I teach my clients in my group programs and my one-on-one programs in the course is getting familiar with your money. And my group members are going through that right now in my group program. And I'll tell you, they went in kicking and screaming, and they've come out saying, oh my gosh, I feel so much more empowered now. I had no idea. And I can't tell you how many times I hear that from business owners. I had no idea. If you can't answer that question when you're asked, you got some investigating to do, right? But I love that you love numbers.
Yeah, but I think it's because it's scary, right? Because if you go do that Excel sheet and put in all your information or all your prices and everything like that, all your costs, I think a lot of small businesses especially, they don't want to know that number.
No.
And that's because you might see the numbers actually in negative instead of you thought it was in the plus and you were doing okay. Because then you want to throw in the towel because it's not working.
Right. Which is a great place to be, actually, because at least now you know, and it doesn't mean that you can't recover from that or you can't get out of that. But here's a great place to start, right? One of my girls just posted in my group program and she's like, oh my God, I just realized I'm not running a profitable business. And I'm like, awesome. That's great information. So now let's fix that, right?
Yeah, just modify.
Yeah. Okay. I want to talk a little bit more about the work that you do. So you have this kind of unique brand in the region that we're in, because we have this very lifestyle oriented community, outdoor recreation, beautiful, beautiful natural environment. People love it here. You have very intentionally built your gift boxes around these artisan vendors, these creators in the region. And so is that what's unique about you? I mean, what is unique about what you pull together? I mean, they're beautiful, but what attracts people to the boxes that you create?
It's definitely right now, I'm really working on the eco-friendly gifting, because even though there are some other small businesses that offer gift boxes out there also, which in any business you're going to be in, there might be another one out there. But definitely what separates, if you Google gift baskets, you're going to see the massive gift baskets with a lot of little cheaper stuff in them, and the big plastic around, the big bows, which screams anti-eco-friendly. And so it works because sometimes it works in people's price points, because they want the huge basket filled with a lot of different little things for the same price point, that's something that is curated with sustainable items, such as I offer these Muddy Marvels pottery mugs that are handcrafted and they're absolutely beautiful, that people want to keep. And that's what separates, is such as with corporate gifting or just your bestie. Did your bestie really want a Kit Kat on her birthday? Maybe she loves Kit Kat, so I shouldn't say that. But really, they want something special. So it's more unique. It's something special that they're going to cherish, they're going to keep, and it's eco-friendly. So a lot of the packaging I have is eco-friendly. And so it is about the look, but when you look at my gift boxes too, it will scream. I have some more coming out next week, because I'm really trying to dial in again of the eco-friendly and the eco-friendly look, and that with, I offer plants also. And it is just that, plus the fact that I work one-on-one with my clients. I call them clients. They're customers, but they're clients because I think it's personal. Versus if you go on some of the bigger companies, you're just clicking and sending, and it feels like nobody's behind there. Versus with me, I'm always doing a follow-up order, follow-up email, especially if it's their first order. I want to reassure that person, even though they got my automatic email that says, thank you for ordering, your gift box is being delivered on so-and-so day. I want them to know and not question, okay, did they get my order? Like the birthday's coming up next, or, in 2 days. Did they get the order? I want to know, because if they haven't worked with me before, they might not know that it is going to happen for sure. So I just follow up with new customers, new clients, and it's that very personalized gifting. So people will contact me and say, I'm looking for a birthday gift for $75. And this is about the person. And so I will send them 2 choices, 2 different ideas to fit within their budget that they can choose from. And then boom, they just click and pay online. So it's just that personalized touch that I offer them also.
Yeah. And I think that, this is a competitive industry, right? And I have another client who builds gift boxes too. Mm-hmm. And so I know that there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of kind of more pedestrian, assembly line type services. And so you're eking out a brand that is not only about the eco-friendly and the sustainability, but also this highly personalized experience, mm-hmm. and local artisan crafted gifts within your boxes. So, I mean, that begs the question, how are you going to scale? Like what's next in terms of being able to, can you provide that same level of service that is so pivotal to your brand and continue to grow your business?
And that's the tough one, because it is unique in the sense, as you said, I work with a lot of local artisans. So local artisans, the first thing, ding, 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 that comes to your mind is what they create takes time. So one of my biggest challenges is a corporate order might clear me out of my handcrafted candles. And so to get restocked on those candles could take weeks. And that's an issue for my business. And that's a challenge I'm working on. Versus before, what I was doing was, okay, well, I'm just going to keep stocking up. Killer for my inventory overhead, because in the end, I'm a retail. I'm a service, but I'm a retail because I have huge inventory with the products that I carry because they are handcrafted. They are more, they are pricier. So it's not the old days of wholesaling where it's 50%. You get 50% off the retail price. That just doesn't exist anymore unless you're in, taking the big box companies kind of thing. So that is going to be one of my challenges. What I have started doing is really picking and choosing which artisans I work with.
Right.
Because the newer artisans, unfortunately, I've found it's just more challenging and it's not profitable for my business because I'm spending so much of my time. And that was the key, is how much of my time am I spending on inventory that I could be spending on, I'll just call it my sales, but working more with building my CRM that I'm wanting to build for my corporate gifting, because corporate gifting is how I can scale. Corporate gifting is great because someone may order 20 gift boxes all at once after a bunch of emails. Exactly. After a bunch of emails back and forth and getting that right gift box, but they're ordering 20 of them versus often, and I love my personal gifting clients. I love them and I always have them. It can be a lot of back and forth, the same amount of emails as it was for 20 gift boxes. So I want to build the corporate gift boxes, but in order to do so, I need to also have suppliers, still being unique and local BC, that can supply me. So that's what I've been working on. And so I've made some shifts on who my suppliers are, because sometimes some of my suppliers, it was taking a couple months. And I feel guilty. I feel guilty because this is a small community and you get this guilt feeling, but I can't do it. It's not, there gets to a point in your business of just being the nice person and, having everybody involved, but you also have to be profitable because this is how you're making your livelihood too. So to gain it, that is one of the things, is changing up a bit. Not changing up a bit, I'm still keeping a lot of my suppliers, but going forward, I do, because I get so many inquiries about people wanting to make my gift boxes, they have to be established businesses. And I need to know exactly what their turnaround time is and everything like that. And that will help with my corporate gifting, because then I will be able to be because corporations sometimes literally will call me out and say, I'd like this within 2 weeks. And so within 2 weeks, having handcrafted unique items, I need to have reliable suppliers. And then the second thing to help me grow will just be, that's why I've been working on Google AdWords, is I deliver Canada-wide, but I need to get the word out there. I need to be able to be out in the front of people that are searching. So not just my local community. I do a lot in my local community to get the word out there. But in order to grow, I need to be, we'll call it selling. I need to be selling outside of my community too. And I have started. That's why I had a good push because of a corporate order after Christmas last year. And I said, I'm just going to dive in. I'm just going to do it. I haven't figured all of this out on shipping yet, but I'm just going to do it. And this was in January, and it was a local business here in Squamish, and they wanted 20 gift boxes shipped across Canada. And I said, I'm just going to do it. And I did. And I was like, why didn't I start this earlier? Because I figured it out. And it was great. So I've completed that part. Now I just need to get the word out there so I can do more of it.
I shipped your gift boxes to Australia.
Yeah.
And
just right. They made it okay.
Easy. Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, they loved. And I think what's really cool about what you sell is that it's so unique to this area. And I think a lot of people this is a very touristy area, and a lot of people come here and they have great memories, and they want to come back and relive those memories, and they want to, go back to where they've been. So I think that works really well for you in terms of your expansion and your growth. And I think that's really exciting. So what's worked for you in terms of getting the word out? I mean, you do a lot of kind of local interaction, but again, as you're starting to scale up and starting to grow, you've mentioned SEO, you've mentioned, some of the more corporate directories. What is on your plate in terms of selling and finding more clients?
I do know that over 50% of my business is not people that live in my community. they may be sending to people in my community. So that includes everywhere in the sea to sky, from Vancouver to Whistler. And that's over 50% of my business. So those are the people I need to reach. And they love that they're supporting local still, and that it's sustainable, it's coming right from here, it's curated here. I need to reach those people. And that's why I did dive into working on my SEO. And so the Google AdWords is going to be something that I'm trying, because people are simply Googling for me. They're not looking for me on Instagram. That's what I do spend time on my social media. I do know for a fact that's not where my leads are coming from. So that is the number one that I'm working on. And then number two, and why I mentioned I want to get this CRM going, and it's actually one of your clients told me a CRM that she uses that I'm going to work on because I've become friends with her. And I need to work on that CRM to reach out. That's the biggest way that I get bigger orders, such as corporate orders or people who are gifting all the time. So they're gifting for many different reasons. Their business, or it's just they're busy people. They're more interested in just like, I need a birthday gift box for my mom. I need to send a birthday gift. So those type of people, it's having the one-on-one conversations, and I need to spend more time and finding that time. So it's cutting down on other things. It's finding and scheduling in that time to just be reaching out. And those are the two biggest things that are going to work and have worked already for me.
You run your business on numbers, and without knowing your numbers, and I don't just mean your financial numbers, but also all of the demographic information about where people are buying from, that's really good information for you. And without being on top of those numbers, you might still be trying to sell to an audience that just isn't that effective for you, right? So I'm really excited to hear that that's kind of underlaying your business strategy. The other thing that I think is really interesting about listening to you talk is that there are a lot of parallels. So you run a very local business. You run a very, you have physical products. I think a lot of people that are they're listening tend to be service-based professionals, but there is so much parallel between what you're doing and how we find clients in the service-based industries as well. And I think Caroline alluded to this in their last interview as well, but one of the things she's really realized is that connecting with people and being able to generate those connections in person is still feeding a service-based industry, is still feeding a product-based industry. And I don't think that's ever going to go away. So whether we're meeting in person or whether we're just creating relationships in an online world, that seems to be the starting point for all of our client getting activities.
People want to know that there's someone actually there they can speak to. Like, I don't think that's ever going to go away in business. It's how businesses before social media and the web and everything like that came about, was interactions with people. And I don't think that's ever going to go away. And people might once in a while be just that hiring somebody that they just need something quick, but to build a relationship with someone, they'll use your services ongoing when you build a relationship with them, because they trust you. It's the biggest thing. They know you're going to get the job done. And it's easier for them because they're like, oh, I know what they're going to do for me. I know it's going to get done. I know what to expect. And I think it's always going to be that way. It's the old fashioned way. We're always still going to use all the technology we now have. But in the end, that's sort of to find people, but then to keep them connected, you have to do it. And that was one of the things that I was working on with VentureWeb, with my search engine and just everything. When they looked through my website, they said I go between I and we in my website. They said, it's all about you. Your business is all about you. People want to know that you're behind the box, as they say. And so I went in and edited all my website, and now it's all in I versus we, because there is no we. This is my gifting studio. There's just me. Oh, and my 10-year-old that sweeps my gifting studio now. But so I changed all that copy on my website too, that it's just I. So people know they're going to have me and talking to a person.
Well, and it's absolutely true. I do a lot of work with Kendrick Shope, and she teaches all about selling. And her sort of quote is that all things being equal, friends buy from friends, right?
Yeah.
If I have an emotional connection to you, and you become someone that I know, and that doesn't have to mean that, you know, Lindsay lives down the street and so I'll buy from her. It could be somebody who lives on the other side of the world, but she's familiar to me, right?
Yeah.
I know you because you've shown up. You have shown up and you have a face and a name, and that's someone I'm going to want to buy from. And I will say this till I am blue in the face with every single one of my clients. You have to show up and be visible. Does it mean you have to do anything uncomfortable? No. Does it mean you have to be on video all the time? No. It means that people need to be constantly reminded that you exist.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's what you had mentioned, that because I am on your email list to get tips and that, and on your Facebook group. And one of them is email newsletters, because I was shy about it, so shy about it. I'm like, nobody really wants to hear about me and, you know, feel like selling. But then I was encouraged more recently. And so now I'm committed. I'm doing monthly email newsletters. I just sent out my first one in September, and I'm going to commit to a monthly one, because then, as you said, showing up, I mean, I get your emails, and it reminds me of you all the time. And it is just about that. So then I'm going to segregate my emails too now, because again, learning what I can do with my own business with MailChimp. And I'll be able to separate those who do personal gifting, those who do corporate gifting. I'll be able to send them different email newsletters. And so I'm really going to get on that, so that I'm showing up, and I'm going to stop shying away from it. And if people want to unsubscribe, they can. You're given that choice at the bottom of the email. But you talk about your Wednesday wins, and I sent out, because I have my kids all summer, 10 whole weeks. I have my children home with me. And so again, it's making choices and being able to work around them. So we'll go to the beach, and then I come home and curate gift boxes, and they'll play in the pool in the back. Well, it's not a full pool, don't worry. And but with that, where was I going with that one? So with that working, so the newsletters. So I hadn't been doing newsletters for a few months, and I was like, okay, I got to get back on that. So I sent one out in September, and my open rate was over 50%, which in my industry is huge. So, and again, it's me doing my own email newsletter, so I know who's opening, because I can see who's opening, what they're clicking on, what people are interested in. And so that was a huge win for me, that over 50%. And so I'm going to keep it up. And it might be only 20% next time because they just heard me, but it's still 20%. And then hopefully moving into the holidays, there will be more opens, and it helps me refine what I put in my newsletters. I can see what people are clicking on and what they aren't. So.
Yeah, and you know, this is an opportunity for you to continue to build more of a brand, because I look at your business and I see like there's a lot of competition out there.
Mm-hmm.
You are slowly eking out this identity and this brand around your business, and your content allows you to solidify that brand, right? To make that brand bigger and to stand for something rather than just sending out promotions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to be really interested to watch where you go with that, because there's a lot that you can talk about beyond just like, here's the things you can buy from me. Click here and buy them.
Yeah, definitely can talk about our local community, our local artisans. My most recent email had to do with, there was from our district, the District of Squamish, was doing a survey to help build their plan for our arts, culture, and heritage strategy plan for our community. And so I included the link because they also were giving away one of my gift boxes. So it worked out well that way. So I was able to incorporate that, but just that, I had the link of the survey for our community members to fill out, that a lot of people had no idea the survey was even out there. So just being able to bring in different ideas like that and what's going on. There's a huge what's going on in this town all the time.
Yeah,
and
we're growing like crazy.
Yeah.
But you're now playing this role of connector, which is also super interesting as almost a marketing tactic for you, because you get to be noticed around more than just something that you sell, and people want to support someone who is pulling that community together. And there are there are parallels in all of our industries, whether it's online or offline.
Exactly. And that's why to be more part of the community was, for me, you'll probably know this also from, I know your client that has the gift box business also, is price point. Always the biggest challenge is the price point of gift boxes, because when you're unique and the products that I'm offering in my gift boxes, it's not my service that I'm up, raising the prices on. It's the reason it might cost more than, again, the Walmart gift basket is because of the products in it is what costs more. So I went over and I was like, I just can't offer a gift box for the price point many people were asking me for. I would be losing money because I know my numbers. And I'm like, I can't do it. And if I start saying yes, I was racking my brains, I was up at night racking my brains. How can I get this person? I really like this person. I want to offer it. I don't want to say no. How can I curate them a gift box in this price point? And, I would try, and sometimes I wasn't making any money on that gift box. And what was the point other than it was the first gift box? And so it kind of got them to know me and what I offered, but then they'd come back and ask for it again. So then I wasn't making the money off that one. So that's why I'm like, I figured out a way to be able to offer something else to my community. So that's where I brought in jute gift totes, which were a huge hit, such as for teacher gift. I brought them in for teacher gifts. So I was able to bring in a whole different part of my community into my business at a different level that still makes me profitable, because the gift totes cost me less than the gift boxes and the shred and everything, and they take less of my time to curate. So I'm able to offer them at a lower price point, but I brought in more of my community into my business by being able to do something like that. So that was a pivotal point for me this year, because once I brought them in, you would not believe how many of these I sell now. So I was joking to my husband. I said, maybe I should have called myself Pure Gift Totes. I don't know, but I'm not, because for shipping, I can't ship them Canada-wide, the gift totes yet. You never know. I might figure that out. But it's more of like, maybe I should have called myself Pure Gifting Service. But anyways, I'm branding myself. But they were huge, and it just brought more people my way, because I heard what they were saying. I listened to them. I met with a bunch of moms before the teacher gift packages came out, and they said, this is the price point we're willing to pay. Come up with something and I will buy it. And I was like, I cannot make a gift box for that price. And so I racked my brains and figured it out, and it's been awesome, like pivotal point for me.
And they were so well received. I bought some for my kids' teachers, and they were amazing. So what I love about this is that you have not given up, right? You did not look at your numbers and say, this is impossible. You said, how can I innovate? Where are the pieces that are costing me the most money, and how can I think around that? And without your numbers, without your data, you wouldn't have been able to do that. So that's a really exciting story.
Yeah.
And also being able to take advantage of the natural patterns of gift giving. Like, when are people thinking about these things beyond the Christmas and the birthdays and that sort of thing? Teacher gifts, right? It's a huge problem, because every year you're at the last minute, you're going, you actually produced a service by pushing out your promotion and reminding us all that this is a thing and I could get this done easily, and also be really proud of what I'm handing over to this person who has served my children for the last.
Something they want to get, something you want to give, and that they're overjoyed to receive. Yes. Because just that, again, it becomes with the gift giving. Somebody joked that it was so, actually, it's more than the thought that counts. Just because it is the thought that counts. But as you said, for the teachers, they put so much heart and soul into our children every single day. It's so nice for them to receive something they're going to use and they actually really enjoy receiving, versus, oh, what am I going to do with this? Or, oh, no thanks.
Yeah.
And everyone doesn't drink, so.
Yeah, no, that would be my first thought as a teacher of what I'd want. I want a nice big bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you wish you knew before you got started? Would you like everyone listening to know that would help them build their business?
Just how much time everything I was going to do took me. Figuring that out beforehand. My biggest one, inventory management. I know a lot of your group and clients are service focused, but just that, and I know you teach that in your courses, is the chock-a-blocks. And I'm still completely, honestly, working on that, is the chock-a-blocks of this is taking me this much time, this is going to take me that much time. I had zero clue how much time inventory management was going to take me. Found the best app ever because of another face group that I joined that's specifically for gift boxes. And so I threw it out there. That's what groups are great about. Threw it out there saying, inventory management is killing me. And so they said, oh, I use this app that I pay for. And again, another thing to pay for, it's going to save me hours every week, this app. So things like that of knowing how you can manage your time better, but more specifically, how long it's going to take to do everything, because can you do it then? Because if you can't do it, well, maybe your prices need to be higher for you to be profitable enough to make it as a livelihood. Because you can say, and someone who's a friend, you and I have talked before, a friend in town also that owns a business, that before I met you, Stephanie, encouraged me on my pricing, because he's like, you can't do it. And I was so shy about my prices. And so that was another thing about really knowing before I launched was my pricing. And I did get it down pretty well before I launched, but just before I launched was knowing your prices, because it's easier to lower your prices than really just raise your prices right away. And so it was knowing, okay, and be okay with those prices, because otherwise it was going to take too much time for what I was making. And then you're not making even minimum wage if you've priced yourself incorrectly, right? Because it's taking so much of your time. Because it may only take you if you're in the service industry and you are on a call and you schedule 1 hour calls with them, you may schedule that call and say, well, I'm being paid the $100 for that hour. But are you? Like, how much prep time did you need to do for that? How much time do you spend on your Google ads for people to find you and stuff like that? So those would be the two specific things for me. There's a million things on my website I wish I had known how to do and everything like that. But those are all learning in any business, I think, unless you're getting someone else to do it all. But
for sure. And hopefully all of our listeners are collecting all of this great advice from all of our interviews and kind of cobbling it together to help them move forward. And, you know, what we talk about in my programs too, is that you have these sort of three legs of the stool. And that's what we go about building is, you know, you have your financial forecast, right? Your sales plan. You have the pricing that you set for your services or your products. And then you have your available time. And when you've figured out those three legs of the stool and one of them's wobbly and one of them doesn't work, then you have you've only got these other two legs of the stool something has to be adjusted. So if you, and this is where designing a business around your lifestyle and how you want to work is so critical, because I can look at those three legs of the stool and I can say, what can't I compromise on? I'm not going to work more hours because I don't have that. So my only options then are to either change my expectations in terms of how much I'm going to make or increase my prices. Yeah. So which one am I going to do? And so then you're at least making a decision from an informed perspective. And it sounds that, like, coming back to this collection of data, you having so much visibility into your operational data and your financial data has really helped you grow to where you are in what I consider to be still a relatively short period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and knowing your business and all of that insight out really helps figure out which stool is wobbly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drag all my clients kicking and screaming through it, but at the end, they are just like, this was life changing.
Exactly.
So what's next for you, Lindsay? You're expanding, you're growing. What's the next big push?
The next big push is corporate gifting for me. And again, it comes back to that I could spend as much time with one person. And again, I always want to do that personal gifting because it's really what gets me up in the morning. I get excited to make one beautiful gift box that I know someone is going to be receiving that day. Excites me. But to build as a business and again, have a livelihood is to get into corporate gifting. So I've been meeting, and because I get a lot of pushback from businesses, they want their brand. They want their brand there. They want their brand there. That's all it comes down to. And I get a lot of pushback for that. But that takes a lot. It changes a bit what I do. So I was trying to figure out how, again, racking my brains, how to make it still work in my business, because I don't want to include the plastic swag that's not sincere or anything like that in my gift boxes. So with that, I've been meeting with Win Studio here, the printing shop in town. And what I'm coming up with is one for my gift totes for the local businesses. I'm already working with one realtor. Is instead of my brand on the gift totes, it's going to be their brand on the gift tote, which completely works and works in the price point and everything like that. And then secondly, with my boxes, it will still be wooden gift boxes, but covering the actual pure on the top of my gift boxes, it will be what we call in this my industry, a belly band. So it's a paper belly band that wraps around the gift box instead of ribbons, about that thick, and it has the company's logo on it.
And it's recyclable.
And it's recyclable because that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to veer because sometimes I start getting swayed a bit and then I got to pull it back in. And so this one makes me feel very confident, makes me feel very aligned and good about this. It's simply a recycled belly band. Everything else, including my recyclable shred, 100% recyclable shred, and everything like that is still all the same. But we're then adding their big branding that the client can simply take off after. Feels like it's a sincere gift because it's coming from, a real business, pure gift boxes, and it's been curated and they don't open up and just see the company's brand everywhere. So they still get their point across that, hey, it's coming from me, the business owner, but then with that, it just kind of completes the package. And that's, for me, I know is the big step. So as we speak, Travis over at Win Studio is making me up a mock one using my husband's business logo. And I am going to, because I made that corporate page, corporate gifting on my website. So I added that page just last week, and I'm going to put it in there and show businesses what their choices now are to integrate their brand. So it's September, and in my business, I had to start all of my holiday stuff back in July. And so this is a push to make sure it's done within the next week, because as of mid-October, I will start contacting businesses about holiday gifting. So that's going to be the big push for me this year.
I love how you're solving problems and finding new ways to grow. So corporate gift giving, I agree, that is a great place for you to be moving towards. So what kind of support do you need in order to get there? You've got a community of people listening to you right now. What would be most helpful for you?
Well, right now I only deliver, I do deliver Canada-wide. I have not worked, that would be another step in another conversation we have on another podcast about customs and exporting. But just if you know any businesses that are looking for unique gifting this year instead of the ho-hum, non-sincere swag, plastic swag stuff that some businesses send out just because it's easy, let them know I can make their gifting easy, still incorporate their brand, and they'll be able to send sincere gifts to their clients. So any business out there, I'd appreciate just having the word spread around, because it's really word of mouth. I mean, I'm doing my Google AdWords, I do my search engine, but right now, being a small business, it's all word of mouth. So I work on my reviews on I'm getting people to work on reviews on my Facebook and my Google business site, because it's really about that, is word of mouth and reviews. So word of mouth really helps if you're talking to other businesses. Just
all right.
Little.
Well, support a local business, support a small business, and I can guarantee that the quality, my clients received these gift boxes at Christmas time last year, and they loved them. They put them all up on their mantelpiece, and they loved them. Okay, Lindsay, you're amazing. And
thanks, Stephanie.
You're a model business owner. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. How can our listeners find you?
puregiftboxes.com.
puregiftboxes.com.
puregiftboxes.com. I've got my contact page there, but it has all my information on that website. Best way to get a hold of me.
Awesome. And you mentioned that you had an offer to share with our listeners today. Can you tell us more about that?
I do. I'm offering you free delivery in Canada for your first gift box if you want to try it out. So you don't have to pay that delivery fee, because I know people don't love delivery fees, but it's a reality of our life. So you can skip that part and just order up a beautiful gift box, either sending as a birthday gift, or if you have some clients that you want to send a thank you to for onboarding them.
That's awesome. And we'll post that information in the show notes, but how do they take advantage of that?
Do the contact page, please. So just contact me, Lindsay, and let me know, and I will put in the free delivery for you. I'll give you a code for it.
And so they're just going to put in a code, or they're going to mention that they heard you on the show?
Exactly. So they can still order online 24 hours a day, but just message me and I'll give you the code and take advantage of it. And if you have any other friends that want to take advantage of it to try out my services, I am open to that, because I know once someone has tried once, then they keep coming back for their gifting services. So
especially when they've had that personalized experience. That's amazing, Lindsay. Thank you so much for this. What an awesome gift for our listeners. And that's a wrap. I have loved speaking to you. As always, we could talk forever, and maybe you'll have to come down the street for a coffee sometime. But make sure you go and check out Lindsay at puregiftboxes.com for her incredible offer. And thank you for tuning in to hear this story. The episodes that you're listening to are all featuring members of my free private Facebook group called The Real Deal Business Coaching Group, where we have daily prompts to keep you focused on building your business and sharing your everyday challenges. We have bi-weekly virtual coffee chats so everyone can connect with each other, because it can be lonely as an entrepreneur. We have open coaching and member support from this incredible community, so come check us out, come hang out with us. And if you'd like to join our community, or you want to be featured on this show, I'd love for you to come and hang out with us in the group. The link is in the show notes, or search up The Real Deal Business Coaching Group in Facebook to find us. And finally, I would love for you to join us for our next episode, where we're going to be speaking to Donia Baumgartner, who is this incredible life coach who is working with moms to change the way that we think about being parents and being moms and supporting each other as moms. She is from the Nurtured Mama, and we are going to hear about her next week on the show. So tune in live in the Facebook group, or this episode will be out in the following week, the following Wednesday, and you can listen to it on all of the platforms in iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so on, and from our website. Okay, so thank you again for being here. If you've enjoyed today's content, I'd love for you to give us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. This helps us share these stories with an even bigger audience. And until next time, I am cheering you on over here.